Oh yeah, Black Sun in the hizzle, all for shizzle dizzle. Oh, we got an excellent one here today. Movie night. Deacon. Um. So, there's some copyright issues with Romper Stomper. Um. So we're not gonna be able to play Romper Stomper tonight, man. I do apologize. However, I do have some information. I got some good stuff on here tonight. Like I said, the Romper Stomper, I'm gonna have to formulate a whole nother channel because YouTube copyright laws and all that, nonsense, man. They tripping. But in the meantime, let me play something very important, something that y'all may want to see here. So this is Tucker Carlson, January 6th. I'm going to play this, and yeah, let me get started. And hold on 1 second.
It's important that we remember exactly what took place.
Hold on.
That this was no tourist.
Okay, I think this is it. Hold on, y'all. I want to definitely play this, man. I hate damn YouTube tripping about the Romper Stomper. We get it. All right, y'all. All right, man. Shout out to Twin. Shout out to Deacon, man. We about to get this thing started. Let me, hold on. Escape. Let me do a share screen. Yeah, man. Yeah, Twin, man. You know how YouTube be tripping, man. They be doing copyright strikes and shit. I did a little test run, and yeah, they struck that shit. So it is what it is, man. But I got something just as good. It's not a movie, but it's something that y'all want to definitely see. Something that y'all definitely want to see. So let me boom. Shout out. Fair usage. Boom. There we go. And we were going to get started. And let's play away.
It's important that we remember exactly what took place. That this was no tourist visit.
Know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
I'm going to punch him out and I'm going to go to jail and I'm going to be happy.
You were murdered. Okay, you obviously weren't murdered because you're alive and you're basically intact. You weren't murdered, buddy.
And they are lying. And we know that because we've been looking at the tape.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. Happy Fedsurrection anniversary. For those who celebrate, there's one man in Congress who is certainly not celebrating. Well, that is Christopher Wray certainly is celebrating. But a man named Clay Higgins is a member of Congress from Louisiana who had the temerity and the brass balls a-swinging in his shorts to ask Christopher Wray this question.
You have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters inside the Capitol on January the 6th prior to the doors being open?
Again, I had to be very careful.
It should be a no. Can you not tell the American people no? We did not have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters positioned inside the Capitol.
Gentlemen's time has expired.
You should not read anything into
You never see Christopher Wray get this flustered. It's amazing. I mean, he's such a cockroach. You never see him get this flustered. He's so easy to contort. He can contort his body and can get and wiggle into anything or out of anything. But Christopher Wray literally getting flustered, literally getting upset. Look at his face. Twisted facial expression because Clay Higgins, who is himself a 30-year veteran of law enforcement, who is himself a deeply honorable and noble man who understands police tactics, saw what some of the rest of us couldn't see, which is that the FBI had confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters inside of the United States Capitol. Now, maybe that's because Clay Higgins has access to all of the January 6th tapes. Ladies and gentlemen, Clay Higgins went on Tucker Carlson's show just moments ago and produced a January 6th special that is a must-watch. This is the smartest, best-informed account of what actually happened on January 6th. Tucker Carlson brought in Clay Higgins for the next 30 minutes, broke down exactly what he has seen with his experience and with his access as a member of Congress for what truly happened, and he confirms that the FBI was staging, LARPing MAGA supporters inside. Before the doors were open, there were agents with earpieces in wearing MAGA gear in the U.S. Capitol. How centrally planned was this? Happy Fedsurrection. Tucker, Clay Higgins, take it away.
It has been exactly 3 years since January 6th, the events of January 6th, the racist insurrection that shocked this nation to its core, more profoundly than anything since Pearl Harbor plus the Civil War. And it has taken a while, honestly, even for people who aren't on the side of the professional liars, to realize there's something amiss about what happened that day. Not just the response, the largest law enforcement mobilization in the history of the United States. That was obviously disproportionate because it wasn't the worst riot that year, not even close. But the day itself, there was something about January 6th that didn't feel right. And hovering over that day has remained the question, to what extent was it a setup? And we still don't really know. But what's interesting is how few people have asked that entirely legitimate question. One of the very few, really one of the only in the United States Congress, is a member called Clay Higgins from Louisiana. And in case you haven't seen this clip, it's worth rewatching. This is from 2020 Homeland Security Committee hearing, where he asked it just directly of the FBI director. Watch.
Did the FBI have confidential human sources embedded within the January 6th protesters on January 6th of 2021?
Well, Congressman, as I'm sure you can appreciate, I have to be very careful about what I can say about when.
Even now, because that's what you told us 2 years ago.
May I finish? About when we do and do not, and where we have and have not used confidential human sources. But to the extent that there's a suggestion, for example, that the FBI's confidential human sources or FBI employees in some way instigated or orchestrated January 6th, that's categorically false.
Did you have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters inside the Capitol on January the 6th prior to the doors being opened?
Again, I had to be very careful.
It should be a no. Can you not tell the American people no? We did not have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters positioned inside the Capitol.
Gentleman's time has expired.
You should not read anything into my decision not to share information.
Director Ray, gentleman's time has expired.
What a sleazy, repulsive little authoritarian liar Chris Wray is. That's obvious when you watch that tape. The sad part is so few tapes like that exist because so few have confronted him directly and asked questions to which the entire country has a right to know the answer, like that one. Clay Higgins did that. Congressman from Louisiana, Lafayette, joins us in studio. Congressman, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Tuck.
So that was over a year ago that you asked that question, which is a central question, and you asked it as I think is appropriate without any embarrassment at all on behalf of your constituents and the rest of the country. Are you any closer to the answer now?
Well, we're closer to being in a position where we can reveal the answers that we already have. Much of the evidence that we have compiled from investigative effort and over the course of the last couple of years, some offices like my own sort of operating in silos of investigative endeavor, have now been able to come together now that we have a Republican majority and we have access to the staffs of the appropriate investigative committees. And so I sit on the oversight committee, and we Republicans run that committee now, and therefore we control the staff. So when you can magnify the efforts that individual members of Congress have pushed within our own offices, when you can magnify those efforts by the skill and the numbers of staff from the committees, you get a lot of evidence reviewed professionally and aligned and assembled into essentially a case file. And in this case, this is a big file because the involvement of certain actors, you could say deep state actors within the federal government, to set the stage for what happened in J4, 5, and 6, and to entrap thousands of Americans from across the country and to lure them into this set stage on J4, 5, and 6. The people that were involved in that is quite a large web. So yes, sir, we do have a great deal of evidence compiled, and we're gradually, professionally rolling that evidence out.
So you sort of answered the question right there in larger terms. You just said that elements within the federal government, I assume law enforcement, intel, and military, and I'm using your words, lured Americans to Washington into what you called a trap.
Yes, sir.
So that would, I mean, that's a shocking, and I assume that's a sober conclusion based on the evidence. That's what you're saying.
That would be my sober assessment as an investigator. And I love my country, and I've always been a staunch defender of the thin blue line, and I would proudly count the FBI amongst that number. They're like brothers to me. So to find that level of conspiratorial corruption at the highest levels of the FBI has been very troubling to me as a man, as a cop. And yet, you follow the evidence wherever it leads. And
yes,
this is what investigators do. So when I asked Christopher Wray that question, for instance, I already knew the answer. I had reviewed compelling evidence that the FBI had assets, human assets, dressed as Trump supporters inside the Capitol prior to the doors being open and the masses allowed in. So I knew that the FBI was deeply involved. I'd seen evidence even at that time with that the FBI had embedded themselves into various groups online across the country of Americans who were essentially voicing their concerns and airing their grievances with each other about COVID oppression. And those Americans were targeted by the FBI, almost universally Republicans and largely Trump supporters. But the FBI worked undercover to infiltrate those conversations and become a significant part of those individual Americans' communications. And when you dig into the evidence that we've had revealed through some criminal cases that I've followed and worked with the families of J6 political detainees and Americans that have been persecuted for their involvement in the Capitol that day, and some of that evidence is shockingly reveals that the FBI agents that were operating undercover within the online groups across the country were the first ones to plant the seeds of suggestions of a more radical occupation of the Capitol, and they were sort of testing the waters of who amongst that group would begin acknowledging that, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should plan for an occupation like that. But if you look at the origins of those conversations, they were started by the FBI undercover guy that was operating inside the group. And then months later, on January 4th, 5th, and 6th, many of those Americans met for the first time in person when they gathered for the massive rally where American patriots assembled to object to everything that had happened during 2020, the COVID oppression, and the stunning results of what we believe was a compromised election cycle in November 2020. So Americans gathered at their own capital to appropriately air grievances and protests at their capital, but embedded amongst their number was an FBI asset that had been working from within their group online for many months. So this was the level of manipulative effort that the FBI invested into American citizenry and our assembly online to to exercise our rights under the First Amendment to talk to each other about whatever we want to talk about, including the insidious suppressions of COVID that we were suffering across the country. So, and our concerns about where the election was going, the whole mail-in ballot thing, we could see the stage was being set for a compromised election cycle, possibly. And to our horror, that's what happened. So FBI had fingerprints on this thing for many months prior to J4, 5, and 6.
I want to go back to something you said in the first sentence, which is you have seen evidence, and that spurred your questions to Chris Wray, that there were FBI assets dressed as Trump supporters within the Capitol. So that is proof of entrapment, because, of course, the federal government could have prevented entry into the Capitol building. There aren't that many doors. You work there, you know. But they allowed people in on purpose to entrap them. That's what that proves, I think. Does it not?
Well, it's certainly condemning. It's another piece of the strategy that the government employed to sort of complete the entrapment of Americans that they had infiltrated and then prodded and provoked with those original seeds planted of actions like, you know, what type of gear to wear and just in language that incited behavior that could go the wrong way. You know, pushing actions of legal and legitimate peaceful protests to an edge where those Americans would likely not have gone had they not been, you know, encouraged by the FBI plant amongst their number that they didn't know was there. So by the time it was actually J6 and you had masses of Americans assembled outside the Capitol, you know, almost like 99.9%, 100% peaceful. On the inside, you had FBI assets dressed as Trump supporters that knew their way around the Capitol.
Before the doors even open.
Before the doors open. Or else how are you going to get around the Capitol? You've been there many times. You need a guide to get from whatever door you go in.
It's a labyrinth.
It's a maze inside there. So that's right. So there's no way, just Americans, most of which have never been to the Capitol, there's no way they can come in some random door that gets opened and then get their way directly to the statuary or the House chamber or the Senate chamber. It's just not possible. So the FBI assets that were dressed as Trump supporters that were inside the Capitol were there, I believe, and evidence indicates that they were there to specifically wave in the Trump supporters that had gathered outside the Capitol, and the doors open and they were allowed in. And on the inside were there's some more Trump supporters, but really those were FBI assets, law enforcement assets that knew their way around the Capitol. And they waved those guys in, said, come on, follow us. And they're the ones that led them on the path directly. How do you think a guy's never been to the Capitol, gonna come into the Capitol all amped up on emotion and make his way straight to Nancy Pelosi's office? Come on. It's like I couldn't get it. There's no way. I've been there for 7 years. Could come in some random door at the Capitol and make my way to Nancy
Everything
Pelosi's
is unmarked. I mean, those leadership offices are unmarked. So how would you know
It's
that?
confusing
That's
to get
right.
around in the Capitol. Every American that has been there knows this. When you go on a tour, you bring your family to D.C., you go through the Capitol, you have to have a guide. And on January 6th, the guides were FBI assets, the law enforcement assets. And they were dressed as Trump supporters. They were positioned inside the Capitol prior to the doors being open so that the Americans that had assembled outside the Capitol, once allowed in, could be brought directly to the areas where the FBI and the DOJ and the deep state actors knew would be the most sort of condemning criminal action of Americans being inside the Capitol, protesting without permit and things. They knew they were setting the stage for arrest and prosecution.
It's such a crime. Who planned this, do you think?
I think factions planned this. I wouldn't say who, Tucker, because I don't think there was one person that planned this, but I believe the faction of establishment liberals within the FBI and the Democrat Party and our intelligence services to another extent use their massive powers of surveillance and investigative assets that they have across the country, confidential informants, registered informants, non-registered informants, voluntary informants. It's a complex web of FBI assets across the country that can be activated. So if you have authority at some of the highest levels in the FBI, it doesn't take much. The faction within the FBI and within our intelligence services that would coordinate with the most extreme liberal factions within the Democrat Party that were desperate to keep Trump out of office and worked within the theater of operations, shall we say, that had been set by the COVID alleged medical emergencies nationwide and millions of mail-in ballots. There's no daylight between the compromised election cycle of November 2020 and ultimately what happened on J6. So you ask who planned this? This would be the combination of several of the most extreme liberal, anti-Trump, anti-America First factions that were in positions of authority within our federal law enforcement organizations and the Democrat Party across the country.
When you say that there were FBI assets in the crowd, in the building beforehand and certainly outside, what's the scale of this? Are you talking like 10, 20?
No. Based upon some very conservative but like hard investigative effort, evaluation of the numbers, from putting together eyewitnesses and videos and affidavit statement and whistleblower statements and court records that have been revealed through individual criminal cases where J6 defendants have been prosecuted and smart attorneys have forced admissions by the DOJ and the FBI, but those admissions have been sealed within the parameter of that criminal case by protective order by the judge, so I can't share them, but I've seen them. So real hard, objective, and conservative estimates would put the number of FBI assets in the crowd, outside, and working inside at well over 200.
200?
Yeah.
So you're in law enforcement? Yeah. Before you came to Congress in the military as well? That's an extraordinary number. Is it?
Well, no. When you think about the scope of the operation, if you were going to do this, you would need
But
that
relative
number.
to, so like when, I don't know, Minneapolis burned down, or when St. John's, the Episcopal Church across from the White House in Lafayette Square, was set ablaze, and all the Secret Service agents were injured. Were there 200 FBI assets in the crowd among Antifa then?
I mean, I don't know how many undercover agents the FBI would have in a situation like that, but J6 was the was the final act prior to arrest and prosecution of Americans that were identified as Trump supporters. I mean, the objective was to destroy the entire MAGA movement, to forever stain the patriotic fervor that was associated with the America First MAGA movement that had won in 2016 and we believe won again in 2020. And the establishment on both sides, of both major parties, were determined to smash that out of existence, not just by defeating Trump, but by destroying the reputations of the movement itself, by creating this narrative that was totally false, but was heavily pushed, that MAGA Republicans, America First Republicans, are somehow a danger to our republic and a domestic terror threat, which is a whole nother story about what the FBI has done to tagging Americans as suspected domestic terrorists and following us as we travel across the country. But the bottom line is that 200, I believe, is a conservative number. Personally, I think there's many more, but a number that I'm comfortable going on record with is that we believe that there were easily 200 FBI undercover assets operating in the crowd, outside the Capitol, embedded into groups that entered the Capitol or provoked entry of the Capitol, and working with FBI assets that would have included Metro Police and Capitol Police that would dress as Trump supporters inside the Capitol, because those were the guys that knew their way around the Capitol. So given the scope of the operation and the number of doors where entry was allowed or even encouraged, then the number of people that were actually outside the Capitol and that entered, we believe 200 is a conservative number. Yes, sir.
It's shocking what you're saying. It confirms everyone's worst suspicions about this. It's clearly true. Did you come across any evidence that the DOD, the military, either Defense Intelligence Agency or National Guard, or any part of the U.S. military played any role in this at all?
I have not seen that. I've heard the echoes of that suspicion, and I have observed circumstantial evidence that has been presented to me that I have reviewed, but to me, it does not rise to the level that I would call actionable from an investigative perspective. So there was some suspicion, but in law enforcement, the thresholds you're looking across is reasonable suspicion that would prompt a criminal investigation, and then the next threshold is probable cause, which you need for arrest. And then, of course, in our system, finally, the last threshold is conviction and guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. So, I did review evidence, Tucker, regarding some suspicions of military involvement in some way, but I have reviewed some of that evidence that I've been able to get my hands on, and I do not think that the military was involved. Not at the level, most certainly not at the level of the FBI, and over the course of all of 2020, and then on J4, 5, and 6, the FBI working in coordination with other law enforcement assets that they roped into the operation,
right,
from Metro PD from D.C. and the Capitol Police was sort of tricked into participating with what the FBI had been staging for 10 months.
If you take 3 steps back, this is not democracy. So the federal agencies serve under the oversight of the elected president and then under the oversight of the elected Congress. Their elected people get to make the decisions. You have a Republican president, you now have a Republican Congress, and neither one can get a straight answer from the FBI. No one has any control of the FBI. You're describing a government within a government.
Well, in America, a question becomes reasonable men would ask when we face a crisis like this: who investigates the investigators?
Right.
And the answer in America is Congress. So we have the responsibility to investigate through the appropriate committees, which we're certainly doing that now that we have a Republican majority and control of the committees. But we don't have the power to arrest. We can give criminal referrals based upon our investigative efforts, but we have to have a DOJ that's receptive to the criminal referrals. So we've hit quite a brick wall, have we not? Constitutionally, we have the responsibility to investigate objectively, and anyone that knows me, knows that's exactly what I'm pursuing. I'm not trying to create a crime to fit a narrative to blame on the FBI. I'm following the evidence, and to my horror, it implicates our FBI at the highest level, and a conspiracy within our government at the highest level to create to set the stage for a compromised election cycle in 2020, and then the actions that took place on J4, 5, and 6, and then the criminal investigation, arrest, and prosecution of Americans that they were able to entrap and document with the thousands of cameras that were operating that day, and use that evidence that they knew they were setting up to investigate, arrest, and prosecute the Americans that they had entrapped. So Congress can investigate these things, and we will reveal these horrific truths, and we will have criminal referrals. But until you have a president running the executive branch that will clean house at the DOJ and FBI at the highest levels and put American patriots in place that will act upon the criminal referrals that Congress provides, then none of those guys are going to get arrested, because they're not going to arrest themselves, and we don't have arrest authority.
I'm a little surprised, and don't expect you to be critical of your colleagues in the Republican conference, but I mean, they do control the House. Impeachment is a thing. Chris Wray is still the FBI director. I watched Republicans, some of whom I know, cheer the murder of Ashley Babbitt, who was an unarmed woman, less than 5'5", by Michael Byrd. They were on Michael Byrd's side. And I have to say, for a lot of Republican voters, and I count myself among them, very clarifying. If you're cheering Ashley Babbitt's murder, shooting women now, that's okay because she likes Trump. And there were Republicans who are like, yeah, I was happy. Like, a lot of them thought that. What the hell?
Yeah, it made me sick.
Me too.
There's a great responsibility when you wear a badge in America. I mean, think about it. To be the designated servant of your community that has the authority to deny the freedom of a fellow American in the land of the free. Like, that's a heavy responsibility. So the escalation of force it must be appropriate in order to effect a lawful arrest. And And a bad shoot is the worst thing that an officer can possibly be involved in his career. It's it's the thing of nightmares for good police officers. So to take from a law enforcement perspective was clearly a bad shoot, because there's some basic rules you just cannot violate. You have to attempt to effect an arrest before you can go to deadly force. There was no attempt to arrest Ashley Babbitt. There were officers on the other side of the window she was climbing through. There were officers on the interior side of the window she was climbing through. There was no indication this had been going on for an hour, and there was no reports on the radio or anywhere else of gunfights. So there was no reason at that point to expect that Ashley Babbitt or anybody else in the crowd was going to produce a firearm and start firing on police officers. Why? Because it had not happened. So that's part of the totality of circumstance that a police officer is responsible for knowing. We stay in constant communication with our radios. We know what's going on. That officer that pulled that trigger was shot a American woman who was clearly in like a physically compromised position, climbing through the broken glass of a window. Is not, it's not like she just stepped into the cage in MMA and she was ready to fight. She was climbing through a window draped in a flag. There's police officers on the other side of the window. There's police officers on the interior side of the window. So you have plenty enough officer presence. If you want to arrest that woman, and by all means, pull her through the window, put flex cuffs on her and throw her in the corner. We'll get to you later, ma'am. We're kind of busy right now. But that's what you do. You'd have grabbed that woman and pulled her through, flex cuffed her and threw her in the corner, or handed her back to somebody that could pull her back, from that front line right there. So I understand that very well. I understand officers have to make split-second decisions, but you never make a decision to use lethal force unless it's absolutely called for and required. If you're losing a fight attempting to effect an arrest, then yeah, if the officer's life is in danger and is all by himself, but there's never should be a circumstance where you just pull the trigger on a woman climbing through a window that's clearly unarmed. There's no evidence of gunplay from the crowd that she's coming from. You got officers on both sides of where she is. If you got to arrest her, then by all means arrest her. To put flex cuffs on her and move on, so so you can handle the next person trying to come through the window. But you don't shoot her. So that was a bad shoot.
There's a real investigation.
It was cheered.
Yep. Why do you think that was?
And there's this insanity that has taken hold in the minds and hearts of many otherwise reasonable American citizens, where they hate Trump so much, like they're so deeply embedded, and they've sold their souls to the establishment, that when we had an America First president and he like stopped the military-industrial complex forward momentum, and he began restoring power to individual members of Congress and restoring individual rights and freedoms and sovereignty of the state. And he took away the actions of the cartels and brought this real common sense approach to the executive branch, and was leading our country in that beautiful direction. This was interfering with the business model of the establishment. So many career politicians on both sides of the aisle, and I don't like those guys, man. I'm not one of them. I serve my country in Congress, but I don't consider myself a politician by any means. I'm a servant to we the people. But some of these guys, man, they pop out of the womb to be politicians. They get groomed their whole life, to be a career politician. And those are the ones that had this instinctive cheer for something really bad happening to a Trump supporter. Their true color showed in that moment, and it was an ugly color.
Yeah, dude. We shouldn't be shooting women, number one. I couldn't agree more. So where does this go from here? You have this corpus of information. It sounds like it's definitive. When does the public see the detail? And what's the process after that?
It's a good question. So evidence from criminal investigations by nature is rather secretive. But there is a tremendous compilation of data that I think should be made completely available to the public, and that's the digital files from J4, 5, and 6. This is where Speaker Mike Johnson can be a champion for that will be remembered for throughout history as the Speaker of the House that fully released, unredacted digital files from J4, 5, and 6 completely to the American people. And within that data is full truth. And the American people, there's the only staff large enough to, frame by frame, go through 80,000 hours of digital evidence. And nobody has a staff big enough to do that. But we can crowdsource it to the American people. So you ask, when will this evidence be released? I've been encouraging Speaker Johnson, as I did Speaker McCarthy, to, my God, man, release this data to the American people.
Why won't they?
I believe Speaker Johnson will, but Mike is quite a skilled constitutionalist attorney himself, and he's a very measured, patient, faithful man. So I extend trust to Speaker Johnson when he says that it's his intention to fully release the called the J6 tapes, but really it's digital evidence. It's more than just video evidence. It's a lot. It's radio transcripts, the whole thing. I believe Speaker Johnson knows that this is a significant duty that he must perform for the American people. It's a moment in history where I believe our Lord and Savior has placed him in that position of service to the country, and he has a responsibility to fully release that data. And then the American people will see for themselves what some of us have already learned to our horror to be true.
Congressman Higgins, thank you very much.
All right, y'all. So yeah, there y'all have it. Interview with former sheriff, now congressman. He broke down the whole. Let me send an invite. Let me send the invite. Oh shit! What the hell? Oh man. Okay, y'all. Let me get my camera on. Let me get my camera on here. I think my mic sounds good. Little echo, but you know, no biggie, no biggie. A little echo, but no biggie. Booyah, booyah. Oh, let me cut the camera on. Shit. Yeah, man. So there y'all have it, man. You know, like I said, I couldn't do the movie tonight because of the copyright, so I decided to play that, which has had some great information. I saw MD doing this in the chat. I mean, damn, I guess we can't have opinions now. Mr. Goddamn Congressman can't have an opinion. I guess it don't align with what you agree with there, MD. So yeah, I get it. Shout out to GTO. Shout out to Deacon. Yeah, man. So that was it, man. Very interesting, and they are going to release more. They are releasing more and more and more. Shout out to Mike Johnson. They are releasing more and more footage of J6 and showing what actually happened. Yeah, so you know, that narrative is pretty much in the garbage, in the trash. Them trying to demonize Trump supporters and all that. That shit is garbage. That shit is garbage, man. Like the narrative has been so like defused with the whole Trump supporters are terrorists and all this, and then out of here with that shit. So yeah, man, a lot of house cleaning in 2024, man. A lot of house cleaning. We did our own house cleaning here on the arena, and yeah, man, polls are looking good, still looking good. Bad for Biden, but as you know, they're trying to push Nikki Haley because they know Biden's going to lose to Trump, so they're trying to push this false narrative of Nikki Haley. They're trying to bolster Nikki Haley. Man, Nikki Haley don't have a chance in hell. I don't care how much money you fund her and how much fake news you pump out there. People are not buying it. They're not buying it, man. The Trump supporters are in tune. It's just now, I think we're at the stage now where who is President Trump going to choose as his VP? That's where we're at right now. I've seen Marjorie Taylor Greene campaigning for Trump in another, I think it was Iowa. Of course, you know, Trump and Vivek Swamy have been complimenting each other. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of rumors going around who's going to be Trump's VP, but you know, Trump will do all that in due time. You know, once he wins, he's going to do a sweep. He's going to do an Iowa sweep, New Hampshire. He is going to sweep, 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 sweep. I advise Nikki Haley to quit before Trump gets to North Carolina. Or is it South Carolina, North? One of those Carolinas before Trump gets to the Carolinas and dog walks you and embarrasses you real bad. My prediction is that Haley will quit before the goddamn Trump gets to the Carolinas. What's going on, MD? I knew that'd bring you up.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said. What did
I
you
said
say?
I would advise Haley to quit before Trump gets to the Carolinas. That's what I was saying.
For what?
Because it's going to not be a good look for her when Trump beats her in her own state.
Does she not have supporters in South Carolina?
Not enough.
That's not what I asked.
No,
She don't?
no, absolutely not.
Okay. Whatever you say.
Okay.
And this is one of the issues. It's an echo. I don't know why it is.
Dog walk is taking me out. Shout out to GTO. Yeah, it's going to be a dog walk. I advise Nikki Haley to quit before Trump gets to the Carolinas, and I advise DeSantis to quit before Trump gets to goddamn Florida, because it's going to look bad when Trump beats them in their own state. It's not going to be a good look. That's usually not a good look for any politician.
Well, when you say good look, this is what I mean. We have to stop. See what you're doing right now, Black Son. You're dealing with
Well,
democracy
real quick. You had gave the little face when the sheriff was talking. What was that about? Real quick. Yeah.
because it's an idiot argument. At
Wait,
the
wait,
end
wait,
of the
wait, whoa,
day,
whoa, 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 whoa. He wasn't arguing. He was just stating facts. He's a
yeah, he
former
was.
law
He
officer.
was. He was
Really?
arguing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Break it down.
We see, and this is the issue. This is what I mean by democracy, right? We have to stop equating everything with democracy. It's not my rule. You know this, Black Son. Even if she loses, and I agree with you, she will lose. But that don't take away from her constituency in which supports her. That's the problem with Trump not participating in the goddamn debate. The perception gives the look of authoritarianism because you're demeaning.
So how many people want Trump to participate in this debate? Because a lot of people
I
don't.
don't I don't I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn if it was just one. I don't care if it
Okay,
was one
well,
person.
I don't give a damn about Nikki Haley and goddamn Ron DeSantis debating.
That again, that's your opinion.
And that's your
not the
opinion.
point. That's not the point I was bringing up. What I was
Okay.
bringing up is the debates are there for a track record to be challenged, especially with a former president. When you don't give the people the opportunity to compare and contrast policies, that's not a good look.
Okay,
So
well, I would just say,
it
if it's a problem,
Go ahead.
then just don't. If it's a problem, just don't vote for Trump. I mean, you don't.
and
like
I
that.
think and
I
I
don't
think
find it a
that
problem.
okay. So why is it so much a concerted effort to defend the position then of him
What do
not
you mean?
debating? It shouldn't be a point of contention.
Who was defending him not to debate? I'm sorry. Who was
You.
doing that? Okay, so what I'm saying is that you got the poll numbers in favor of Trump. So what debate what exactly? He's already had a track record with his last 4 years. With the 4 years he did.
It goes back to my original point. You're going in the face of democracy, and this is not a democracy. If you want to go with my rule, you have that opinion, just like I got mine.
Right.
But I would give the argument that my rule is not the play.
Doesn't it take a mob to win an election?
It takes an electorate to win an election.
Based on mob.
Just ask Donald Trump that. Ask Donald Trump that. He lost the popular vote. So that's a mute point that you just made.
Based. Whoa. Okay, well that's your opinion. That's what you believe. Because
That's my opinion.
I'm agreeing with the sheriff.
He lost the popular vote to Hillary Clinton.
Again, I think they rigged that shit because they rigged the yeah, they did. Did they not? Did they not say? Now, Democrats had claimed that Bernie Sanders got cheated. These were Democrats. These were Trump supporters.
Did Bernie Sanders get more votes than Hillary Clinton?
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't, and you know he didn't.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Golly.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah, man. I mean,
I can't work in the particulars of whataboutism. I just can't do that.
No. If you just look at it's simply just look at the crowds that Hillary had versus the crowds that Bernie had. It's simple.
I will pose the question again. Did Bernie Sanders get more votes than Hillary Clinton?
Yep, he sure did.
That, and you know that's a lot. See, we deal in conspiracy. We deal with conspiracy.
That's not a conspiracy.
Yes, it is. It is. We deal with these to bolster a position. I can't do that.
So J6 was an insurrection, right?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet. Oh, you don't know yet. Oh, now you don't know. So
I don't.
So we can agree that it was no armed insurrection, correct?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet. Okay, okay. So,
I go by due
based on the
process,
people
Black
that
Son.
they arrested during J6, did any of them have firearms on them?
A lot of them were charged with sedition.
Did they have? You didn't answer my question though.
Yeah,
Any of
yeah,
the
a lot of them had
J6ers?
firearms.
Huh?
Yeah, a lot of them had firearms.
That's a lie. No, they didn't. That's a lie.
Bro, the Enrique dude had a whole cache of firearms. What are you
Enrique
talking
was
about?
not even there. Enrique wasn't even there, sir. Dang, you just
Don't
killed
argue
yourself.
with me. Don't argue with me. I wasn't on the grand jury.
Enrique was not there, sir. That's been proven.
Don't argue it with me. I wasn't on the grand
So
jury.
again, answer my question. Answer my question.
It's not possible for me to answer your question. Because
Basically, let me just say this. There was no armed insurrection because nobody was armed with any firearms at J6. To answer your question,
you deal with conspiracy theory, Black Son. I don't.
That's the fact. No, that's a fact. That's a fact. Unless you saw arrest records of anybody shown, I seen the arrest records. Nobody had a firearm on them, sir. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's a fact.
I never said anybody was charged with being armed. I said sedition.
I said, was it a? You're not listening. Was there? Let me say it again. Let me put the camera up to my mouth. Was there? And was it an armed insurrection? Yes or no? You said you didn't know. Okay, so then I answer the question for you. You can't have an armed insurrection if nobody has arms, sir. So that squashes.
Who was charged with it?
Whoever was charged with it they did not find firearms on them, is what I'm saying.
Like you ill-informed even what you even talking about. Nobody was charged with armed insurrection.
Then prove me wrong.
Nobody was charged with
armed
insurrection. Didn't I just say that? You don't understand that?
Thank you. Okay, but it was still a question though. So MD, everybody, hold on. MD just said, everybody, that there was no armed insurrection. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
I said I didn't know yet.
Oh, you didn't know yet? Okay, so again, was anybody that you're aware of that got arrested on J6, did they find firearms on them?
Listen, let me say it again.
Okay, I'll answer that for you. That is a whopping no. Read my lips. That's a whopping no. No. That's
I just said that.
Okay. Why is it so hard to answer a simple question?
Because I don't follow quirkiness. I don't follow conspiracy.
But it's a simple yes or no question. It's a simple because you're trying to push your narrative. You're trying to push your narrative right now. You're trying to push your narrative. You're moving funny right now.
Question doesn't exist.
I'm asking a question based on what.
It doesn't exist.
Did I just not
play? It's in your head. It's in your head, Black Son. It's in your head.
Did I? I just played Tucker Carlson.
In your head.
I'm commenting on what I just played.
Tucker Carlson's head because he's pushing the lyrics.
Again,
and you follow.
And the guy said a fact. He said that there was nobody armed. Everybody got arrested. Nobody had arms on them.
And so logic.
Do you want to refute that? Yes or no?
Who was charged with being armed?
Nobody.
Why are you asking a stupid question that don't exist?
Because we want to know if because the narrative that was pushed out there was insurrection.
Look up what an insurrection is, Black Son. You tell me if it involved being armed. You know it don't.
It does. Look it up. Okay, you look
it up. What are we doing?
What are we doing? I'm responding to the video I just played. That's what I'm doing. I don't know what you're doing.
Your government defines what an insurrection is. It ain't got nothing to do with being armed.
Nah.
This shit is crazy.
Okay, well then define it. Define it. Then.
Let me go to it right now.
Okay.
Damn.
Based on the damn news, they kept saying armed rebellious insurrection. That's what the fake stream media was pushing. And so it's cleared up tonight. Now you're welling and flailing your arms right now. You're welling and flailing your arms right now. This was the narrative. Was this not the narrative?
I don't care what the narrative. I don't care about narrative.
Okay, but the narrative, but again, But this is the narrative that's being pushed, and that's why I played the video to correct all that dumb shit that they
But
pushing
you
out
didn't
there.
correct it. You didn't correct anything. You just said armed insurrection. So you
I've
just used
corrected
power with
that
a
there was no armed insurrection. I corrected that.
So you use fake news to battle fake news.
No, 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 no,
That's
no, no,
what you
no,
just
no.
did.
The fake
You
news
did.
put out no. Number one, the fake news put out that it was an armed insurrection. So tonight it was cleared up that there was no armed insurrection because everybody got arrested didn't have no arms on them, sir.
There's no such thing as being charged with an armed insurrection.
I thought you were
You see what
looking
I mean?
up
You
the
see what I mean?
definition. I thought you were
I am
looking
looking it
up
up.
the definition.
I'm driving too. I am looking up.
Okay.
When you're not politically grounded, Black Son, that's what happens.
Bro, I'm just commenting on the video I just played, sir.
Well, you using logic, you would have fact checked.
Right, and we fact checked it, yeah, and I fact checked it. Nobody who got arrested had arms on them, so there was no armed insurrection.
And you still using it.
I don't understand why you're getting damn mad at me when the goddamn mainstream media that you watch was pushing that bullshit.
I mean, I watch all news.
Right, and all that shit was pushing that bullshit.
I'm not going to use a fake narrative, though.
All the shit that you watch was pulling that goddamn fake news narrative about an arms insurrection. Nobody got arrested with any arms. Insurrection involves armed overthrow of the government. That's what an insurrection is, in layman's term. Okay.
And you said it got armed in it. That's what you said.
They should have stayed their ass at home. Yep. Arms and insurrection. Yep. Arms and insurrection, sir. That was what the fake stream media proved. Your damn CBS, your NBC, every news organization that was anti-Trump pushed that bullshit. So again, I'm trying to figure out what what did the guy? Okay, what did the guy say that you were so goddamn worked up about? You had to do all that. What did he say?
Well, when I put in the pants in the
what type of law enforcement experience do you have to refute this man? He has over 40 years.
Now you coming with the crazy.
No, that's right.
Why do I have law enforcement experience?
What type of law experience do you? What? Because you did this. So I'm assuming you got law experience background to refute what this man was saying. To refute his experience in law experience.
Like that, Black Son. That's crazy.
Oh, okay. Well, you did this. I was wondering why you were doing that. I'm just wondering.
Because what he said at that particular time was some crazy shit.
What'd he say?
He said that who's going to, he was talking about Congress, right?
Yeah.
He was talking about how the Congress enforced the enactment or whatever, but then he was talking.
Uh-oh, I think he's in a bad area. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. All right, I'm going to read the comment while he get his stuff together. GTO said they should have stayed their ass at home, laugh out loud. Can we at least agree with that? I agree with that, GTO. A violent uprising against any authority or government insurrection. Thank you, GTO. Thank you. It just have to be violent. Didn't somebody throw poop? That's assault. Okay, so we were simply talking about the video that implied that there were a lot of FBI agents. So, but somehow we got derailed as usual. No, we get derailed on definitions and this and that. We get derailed. I'm basically played the video. I don't know how much of the video you've seen, GTO, but the video stated the guy who has 30 plus years of law enforcement experience, he's saying that, he already knew that they had pre-planned this whole J6 thing. And there were FBI agents in there. Now, the legal term I think law officers use is entrapment. And this is a one of the top law enforcement sheriff officers. He comes out of Louisiana. And he was saying he was peeping everything. But he already knows that there were agents already there. So that is actual narrative. So I just want MD to refute that. But see, he's nitpicking just little shit that's really irrelevant to why the video is basically saying that you had FBI plants posing as Trump supporters. That's the video in a nutshell. So I thought MD was coming up to refute that. He's nitpicking around the damn thing. He's taking the apple pie and he's goddamn taking the apples out. He's not taking the whole pie. It's like, dude, they were talking about FBI agents posing as Trump supporters. That is the narrative. That's what I want to talk about. Okay. So,
hey, can you hear me?
Yep. Can you hear me?
I hear I don't know what's going on, man. It's like a echo, and then the echo was doing like you know how I do the repeater?
Yeah.
Where you'll say something, and then I don't know what's going on. You got me on speaker on the computer?
Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me turn my phone on. I didn't have my phone on. Hold on. Okay, how's that? I was charging my phone.
Mic check.
Okay, check.
Yeah, I still hear it. It's not on your end, it's on my end. I believe because you got me on speaker on the computer. It's all good though.
Oh, hold on. I'll fix that. Hold on. Okay.
No. So what I was all I was saying was nobody made the argument in terms of the people being charged with insurrection. I've never made that argument. That's why I said I don't know yet. We'll see throughout the course of whatever happened with these Trump trials, what they define as. That's all I was saying. So don't mix the word and try to implement a false narrative of insurrection. And I'm not saying that there wasn't a false narrative of insurrection. I never said that.
How's my mic
But what
now?
I'm saying is don't. Yeah, you good.
Okay,
but all I'm saying is don't fight. Please, for the love of God, don't fight the false narrative of insurrection, trying to defend insurrection not being put into place. That's all I'm saying. As far as what he was talking about when it comes to the entrapment word and all that, cool. Prove it in a court of law.
Okay, got you.
That's all I was saying. But you fought tooth and nail to defend the word insurrection and it being inequated to the situation that it blowed up. I never said it was a false narrative. There wasn't a false narrative of Israel. I never said that.
Well, MD,
what I'm saying is I'm not going to come to that conclusion because I go off what the law says.
Right. Well, what I wanted to do was the whole narrative behind the whole clip that I just played. You have a law enforcement officer that has 30 plus years experience who peeps certain things. Now, he already knows that there were FBI agents. So he's just bringing this to the general public that there were FBI agents posing as Trump supporters. So what do you have to say to that?
Can he prove it in a court of law?
Yeah, he's saying he can. But he said he's going to be patient with. Okay, so he's going to be patient with Mike Johnson because Mike Johnson, being a constitutional lawyer, he said he has faith that he's just slow. Mike Johnson is slow rolling releasing all this stuff because it's a lot of footage. But he said they pretty much they got it. They got it. They know that there were FBI agents in there. He's going to be one of the top law enforcement witnesses that's going to point out certain things like the ghost vehicles. I mean, he said he's got it down to a science because law enforcement tactics federally is no different than law enforcement tactics locally or statewide. It's all the goddamn same tactics. He said they use what they call ghost vehicles. There were 3 ghost vehicles. Ghost vehicles meaning 3 plain white buses that came. That's a law enforcement tactic. He recognized it right away. So yeah, shout out to him.
Well, like all I got to say,
I've been following this man long before he became a congressman. I used to watch some of his goddamn shows in Louisiana. He's like one of the top. I don't know if you know him, but I've been watching this dude for a long time because he had a TV show, a local TV show in Louisiana. So yeah, I'm very familiar with this brother, that man that you just showed.
Well, all I got to say is in the most trusted words that you can do to give one's encouragement, good luck with that. That's all I can say. Because according to what's going on now, legally, it don't hold no weight. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, it's minuscule to me because we're talking about this from a social aspect, but I ain't seeing no work getting put in legally. So it don't mean a goddamn thing to me. If it's that big a deal, take it to where it's supposed to go. To that blindfolded woman holding them scales. Other than that, you're
Are you
MAGA about.
talking? So are you talking about the Supreme Court?
I'm talking about any form of a judicial review, whether
Yeah,
it
he
be
said he said that he can't that the Congress can go before Congress, but they can't arrest anybody. He did say that. I don't know. I don't know how much of the thing you caught, but he was making some very great points. You know,
So wait a minute. Not a crime, not a crime through what do they call it when you go through the internal review? Is that what you're telling me?
you
Because
was
you know
breaking
that's
up
not
again.
true,
What was
right?
that? Say it again.
I said, are you telling me through internal review entrapment is not a crime?
Yeah, entrapment is a
Because it
crime.
is.
Right.
Okay, so what are we talking about?
So again, you have the congressman said he is letting Mike Johnson roll this stuff out. He's going to let the public look at this. He's going to let the public look at it. When they're ready, when he's ready, they're going to goddamn do what they do. But he said,
Okay,
saying he's going to slow walk it. Mike Johnson is slow walking this whole thing. They releasing all the tapes, the so-called insurrection. They're releasing all of it, and so
okay.
they're already seeing things that's looking little suspicious. That's looking very kind of sleight of hand. And they're getting all their experts ready. They're getting all their ducks in a row, like you said. They're getting all their ducks in a row. And when Mike Johnson is ready, they're gonna pounce on this shit.
But Mike Johnson wouldn't be the one that's bringing the indictment. That ain't got nothing to do with Mike Johnson.
So who would Mike Johnson give it to?
The DOJ.
Okay. Again, Mike Johnson is slow walking, according to the interview we just listened to.
Oh, you mean how they slow walked January 6th and the Trump indictment? From what you told me, it shouldn't have took that long to do it. But now
Hey,
it's okay.
hey, if they can do it, hey, if they want to play, it's just like this. I'm gonna just use this analogy. If you don't have Trump, no problem with Biden not doing no debates, then don't have no problem with Trump not doing no debates. Hey, so
But I do
and
have
if you have a problem,
I do
huh?
have a problem with Biden doing. You know that. I
Okay,
do
that's
have a
fine.
problem
That's
with it.
fine. That's fine. But you quick to say Trump's name, but you don't never say Biden's name. You don't never goddamn because don't you think Cornel West and Kennedy they need to debate? Don't you think they need to have a debate?
Hey, Black Son, yo, what about ism is
Mhm.
strong. It's
I
strong as
know,
hell.
I know. Oh yeah, I'm a like, I'm a hop on it like a Hardy. I'm a
Boy,
rev up,
yo,
ready.
what
Yeah,
about ism is strong.
right, because they do it every time with Trump. When they goddamn were talking about Hunter Biden, what about Trump? So I'm just, hey, I'm doing as the Romans do. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. So that's what I'm doing.
Again, that don't make it right, sir.
Hey, right or wrong, I'm learning now is just
Don't make it right. But I feel you though.
it's
I
a
just want to,
viewpoint.
huh?
Right or wrong, Ray, at this point is a viewpoint. It's just an opinion at this point. I'm learning that from you, MD. That when you say right and wrong, it's just
Hey, I feel you. Yeah.
it really holds no weight. Is what I'm saying. Like it's just it's a concept
Well,
as solid as
it don't
being
hold no.
as a block.
It don't hold no weight. It don't hold no weight from morality.
Huh?
Right. I agree with that. It doesn't hold any weight in terms of. Yeah, I'm probably breaking up because I'm headed home.
No, you good.
Yeah,
You good.
it
Go
probably
ahead.
don't hold no weight in terms of No, I'm saying yeah, I agree with you. It don't hold no weight in terms of I guess a individual thought process. But when you use it in a collective means, that's the issue. But yeah, I just wanted to hop on to say that just to fuck with you. But again,
Well, Like I said, I wanted to get your take
if
on that
huh?
video. Like I said, I don't. Like I said, I wanted to get your take on that video. I didn't know how much you caught of it, but I thought it was a very interesting
Well,
video.
the only part I caught was that because I was headed home from
Oh, damn!
like
So you
the
didn't
little
watch the
game
whole
party
thing.
or whatever.
Okay. Damn,
No,
I was hoping you
I
watched the
couldn't.
whole thing. Okay. So then
But
this is not
I
fair,
heard that bullshit what he said.
right? But you only heard half. You didn't even
So
hear the whole
my argument was
thing.
based off the bullshit that I heard.
Okay, I got you. I
I
got you.
wasn't making the argument about the whole thing. I was making the argument about something specific.
See, I wish I would have known that. I wouldn't have damn. Okay, so you got me flailing up my arms now. I didn't know you didn't watch the whole thing. Because I'd rather you watch the whole thing
Yeah.
then criticize it.
That's what happened. That's what happens when you use low level collective thought to fight low level collective thought.
Okay, so what is high collective thought? Because we keep talking about low collective thought, low collective thought. What is high collective thought? Hell, it sounds good. Low collective thought, it sounds good. So where is this high collective thought at? That's just like
There's
a
no such
person.
thing as
Oh, there's no such thing. Okay, so you're basically saying groupthink. Okay, but groupthink tends to have a sway. But you know what? I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. The low collective thought. I get you. I got it. Unfortunately, in the world we live in, that tends to dominate.
Black Son. Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
If you felt like you was wrongfully charged with a crime
Uh huh.
and you knew for certain that you had all this evidence that would decriminalize you,
Yes.
are you going to meticulously go through other outlets to try to prove your point, or are you going to try to prove your point through the system in which criminalized you?
Well, I'm going to answer that question. I would I would do the obviously. I would have a lawyer represent me. Obviously,
Okay.
isn't that
So
what Trump is not doing? Isn't that what's going
no,
on?
I'm
Like,
not, but
okay,
it's
okay, that's
bigger than
fine.
Trump. I'm
Okay,
not
it
specifically
is bigger
talking
than
about
Trump.
Trump.
I agree. It's true. Okay, okay, that's fine.
I'm talking
Fair
about
enough.
the
Fair enough.
totality of this whole situation
I agree. I agree.
with
So again, to answer your
Jason,
question, I would get a lawyer. Like,
everything.
okay. I was in an accident, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I let my lawyer handle all that. I told him what happened, gave him a report, he got the police report. Now it's all in his hands. Whatever he tells me to go do this and that, I'll go do it without any question because that's his expertise. So I let my lawyer handle that.
Oh, so you're not gonna let YouTube and Twitter and the rest of social media handle it. You're gonna let the legal
Oh,
branch handle that,
you funny, dude. You funny,
right? I'm just
MD.
asking.
So
I'm just asking a question.
wait. Okay, yeah, but you gotta understand. Okay, so I'm glad you said that. So why is Fannie Willis playing The Godfather with Trump's voice on YouTube?
What do you mean?
Since
So
Fannie
Fannie
Willis,
Willis got a
Fulton
YouTube
County.
channel doing that?
Yes, she's paid for a goddamn commercial showing The Godfather, and it has Trump's voice talking about find me them damn votes, and it's blasted all over YouTube. So I'm glad you said that, sir.
Well, I have to look at that. I haven't seen that.
Oh, I've seen it.
I have to look at that. But yeah, you would have a point. Yes, you would.
Okay, yeah, because she's
But,
doing that,
but
and I'm
Fannie
like,
Willis, the ball is in her court. It ain't in Trump court or anybody else's court.
what do you mean by that? I'm sorry.
Meaning that she's in control of the situation from a criminality aspect.
She ain't in control of the damn date.
See, I mean,
Neither is Jack Smith. So hey, it is what it is. Neither one of them in
that
control of the date.
again, that's
Because
irrelevant to the point I
no,
just
it is
made. But
okay. It's not relevant to the point you made. But what I'm saying is that why such a rush to get it's not going it's a done deal now, but why was there such a rush to get this done before the election if it's about justice, MD?
but that contradicts your original statement.
What was my original statement? No, I'm just no. We're no. Now we're talking about Jack Smith and Fannie Willis right now because you brought it up. You brought up that I would not bring up my case before YouTube, and I'm like, that's funny because I've seen Fannie Willis pay for like ads showing the whole thing, and it said Fulton County Court. So I'm just saying. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, Black. So I
Uh,
really like don't believe that. I don't.
oh,
I
God,
don't
oh,
believe
okay.
that.
I got you.
I
I
don't
got you.
believe that the Fulton County courts will pay for an ad talking about
Okay.
prosecuting somebody. That's hard to believe.
Oh, okay. You know what?
I'm
Let
gonna
me
just
bring.
keep it a buck
So
with you.
you don't think it was Fulton County? Okay.
I said I find it. What I've never seen nobody have a televised prosecution and have like a promotion about the
Right.
prosecution. That's crazy to me.
Got you. Got
That's
you.
wild.
Right. I got you. I'm pulling it up right now, brother. Cause God I thought it was pretty damn disgusting of them
So
too.
internally, I would say like I really don't believe it.
Okay. Right. And that's why I'm looking for it right now, brother. If I don't find it tonight, I will have it this week. I will have it this week because I've been seeing that shit pop up, and I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
I mean, that's like saying that's like equating it to a goddamn a Mike Tyson commercial promoting the next fight for Buster Douglas or some shit. No, I can't I can't rock with that.
Right, right. So you saying you don't believe me? Right. That's cool. And right, when I find it, I'm gonna play it just for you when I find that shit. Or I'll just click on that shit next time, and I'm gonna goddamn save that shit in my computer. Cause yeah, yeah.
You gonna have to
Oh, I
leave. You
will.
gonna have to fill me in on that.
Oh, I will. Oh, I will.
You have to
Trust me, I
fill me in
will.
on that. But yeah, let me get off of here, man. I'm almost at the house, man. Coming from this little party or whatever, man. I'm yeah, man. Whatever you got coming up next, man. I'll be through there.
Okay, cool deal, man, cool deal.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, peace, y'all. Okay, man. All right, we just had Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. What is this? 3 years ago. Okay. I was just looking at some other ad. Okay, man. I'm crying. Why you crying? GTO, why you crying? GTO, what the hell's going on? What the hell? You got time to jump up, GTO? If not, let me know. Hey, GTO, when you doing the show? When you doing the show, GTO? You want to do the show on? I tell you what, GTO, I need you to do a show on Cat Williams. Let me say that again. I need everybody in the chat. If y'all want GTO to do a show about Cat Williams, raise your hand. Deacon, Twin, everybody put someone if you want GTO to do a show on Cat Williams. So I'm not going to touch Cat Williams until GTO does a show on it. So GTO, I need you to hop in the back and whenever you get a chance, do your stuff that you do. We want your return, and I don't want you to do that shit was so good. That shit was so good. Wait, GTO, what was good? I don't know what you talking about, GTO. GTO, when are you gonna do a show on Cat Williams? GTO, you got me looking crazy right now. When you go to a show on Cat Williams, I'm waiting for you to respond before I close the show out, y'all. GTO, GTO, GTO. When you go do a show on Cat Williams. All right, man. Shout out to GTO. I don't know why she don't not responding. Shout out to GTO. Shout out to Twin. Shout out to Jekin. Shout out to MD, man. I'm glad I can get MD up here. and make a comment, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. With that being said, man. Hey, everybody, if y'all want to see GTO do a show on Cat Williams, press the 1 in the chat. I don't know if y'all can, maybe y'all can't hear me. Hold on, man. Maybe my mic. Let me check my mic. Check, 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 check. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Nobody's not pressing the 1. If y'all want GTO to do a show on Cat Williams, press a 1 in the chat. 1, okay. Twin, okay, that's 1. Let me put my 1. Okay. Boom. Okay. Got my vote. Okay. What about you, Deacon? Deacon, you want to see GTO do a show on Cat Williams? Am I putting GTO on the spot? I think I'm putting GTO on the spot here. All right, y'all. I'm gonna close it on out, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the show, man. So, like I said, sorry about the movie. Again, I'm gonna have to set up an alternate channel. It's not gonna even be on YouTube. It might be on Cast TV or it might be on another platform where we can show movies because you know YouTube be tripping. You know how I know they tripping? Because I found out the movie that I wanted to show, YouTube is charging. They're renting that movie out, so that's conflict of interest right there. So I can't show the movie when they're trying to make money off the movie. So y'all check out Romper Stomper. It's on YouTube. You can rent it for like I think $3 or $4. So basically that's why I can't play it because YouTube. It used to be an independent film. It used to be an independent film and a foreign film, so you could like play it. But now I guess it got popular, so now YouTube is trying to make money off Romper Stomper. So uh, yeah, y'all check it out. It's a pretty good movie, man. Like I said, I hate I couldn't share it with y'all tonight. I do apologize. I hope y'all enjoyed the Tucker Carlson video. With that being said, man, we out, y'all, and we out, y'all, and peace, peace, peace in the Middle East.